The truth is, we're an amazing species. I'll give you an example. On my podcast on slow-mo, one of my favorite guests ever was Edith Eker. Edith is a 93-year-old, probably 94 now, a Holocaust survivor. Okay? I cried. I wept like a baby when I was listening to that woman. She is an angel. Okay? Tells you the story of the Holocaust from her point of view. And how she needed to help her sisters, as she called them, and remind and brush their hairs and tell them that they're beautiful. And when she used to be a ballerina, so she would entertain the general and then bring a piece of bread and split it between them. And how at the end, when they were doing the death march, they carried her so that she doesn't fall, so that she doesn't get killed. And when you hear that story from Edith, you go like, oh my God, humans are amazing. You hear it from the story of history and what Hitler did, and you say we're scum. But the question that you really need to ask yourself is, how many Hitlers are out there? And how many Ediths? I asked her at the end of the conversation, I said, Edith, so she went back to Auschwitz. And I said, why did you do this? And she said, I wanted to reconcile and, tell the world that I don't hate anyone. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, if I was born German and I was told, and now Germany and tomorrow the world, I may have probably acted like them as well, right? That kind of forgiveness, that kind of enormous beauty of soul and spirit of heart, that's what humans are about. That's what we are, okay? We, however, have a negativity bias that makes us look different. Now, I'm encouraging people, I'm saying, if 1% of us show who we are, smile at people in the tube, talk to others, help the old lady, get up from your seat when someone walks into the tube and let them sit down, post something positive online instead of just ranting and fighting with anyone. Yeah, not everyone is going to do this. Don't expect that I will raise humanity. But if 1% does this, just like I may have gotten you to now think and say, yeah, actually humanity is not that bad. If we instill that doubt in the minds of the machines will realize, oh my God, amazing species. Deluded, stupid in so many ways, right? But
I agree with that one.
Yeah, but deep.
But why with the boat?
Ego and greed. I think the worst innovation humanity's ever invented is something called capitalism. Okay, which is so interesting because capitalism is teaching us to maximize for something that doesn't exist. So it's so stupid. Money does not exist. People don't understand that. It's all printed and inflationary, and it doesn't exist. And we all spend lifetimes chasing it. And so capitalism is telling us, make more of it. And so how do you make more of it? You continue to compete. And, in Scary Smart, I call that the first inevitable. The first inevitable. So Elon Musk was interviewed and he said, mark my words, artificial intelligence is more threatening to humanity than nuclear weapons. Okay? Why is it then that we don't stop it like we stopped nuclear weapons? Because of capitalism. Because we've created a prisoner's dilemma as a capitalist society that basically says if Google develops artificial intelligence, Facebook needs to develop artificial intelligence. If China develops artificial intelligence, then America has to develop artificial intelligence. So there is no stopping us. We're caught in that inevitable. That's why we are, the first inevitable is artificial intelligence will happen. There's no way out of it. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Honestly, and please don't judge me, but the reason you and I have this sophisticated equipment and that we can record a conversation that, so many people hopefully will benefit from is because of humanity's intelligence. But we're stupid. We really are. All of the challenges that we create as humans are because of our limited intelligence. Yes, it's amazing innovation to create an aeroplane, but it's so stupid to burn the planet in the process. It's incredible that I can walk into a Sainsbury's or a Waitrose around the corner and get berries, that have been picked 50 kilometers away. It's absolutely stupid to wrap it in single-use plastic that's going to destroy the planet. Okay? Now, our intelligence gets us further. Our stupidity is destroying us.
The truth is out there, and it begins with you. Welcome to the Cosmic Fold, where we talk high strangeness. Call us at 928-288-2942. That's 928-288-2942. Or join us by video. If you're at a computer, just look for the link in the chat. Buckle up, sit around our virtual campfire, and let's get started.
Artificial intelligence. Today, it's writing essays, making art, even helping doctors save lives. But this isn't new. Back in the 1960s, one of the very first chatbots, Eliza, was already surprising people by pretending to be a therapist. And even then, some folks thought, wow, this thing is almost human. Others thought, this is creepy. Sound familiar? So what exactly is AI? The name artificial intelligence was coined in 1956 at a research conference at Dartmouth. But here's the thing, AI isn't magic, and it's definitely not alive. At its core, it's pattern recognition. Modern AI tools are trained on massive databases, millions of books, websites, images, and numbers. From that training, they learn the statistical likelihood of what comes next in a sequence. If you type a question into a chatbot, it doesn't know the answer. It predicts the most likely words that should follow, based on everything it's seen before. Think of it as autocomplete on steroids. Over the decades, AI has gone through boom and bust cycles. In the 1970s and 80s, excitement fizzled during so-called AI winters, when the technology couldn't live up to the hype. Then came breakthroughs, like IBM's Deep Blue beating chess champion Garry Kasparov in 1997. Today, with tools like ChatGPT and Gemini, AI feels like it's everywhere and moving faster than ever. Now, people split into two camps. On one side, optimists see AI as a tool, like a calculator for ideas. Teachers, journalists, scientists, even small business owners are using it to save time and spark creativity. On the other side, there are fears. Some worry it will replace jobs. Others think it could spiral out of control. And a few even imagine it's an oracle, or that it's talking to aliens or spirits. Spoiler alert, it's not. AI is code, math, and data. Nothing more, nothing less. So what should we really be worried about? Let's cut through the noise. First, misinformation. Deepfakes and fake news are already messing with elections and markets. Second, over-reliance. If people just trust whatever an algorithm spits out, they stop thinking for themselves. Third, copyright. Many AI models are trained on books, art, and music made by real people, sometimes without permission. That's why lawsuits are piling up. And fourth, weaponization. AI can be built into drones or other autonomous weapons. That means a machine could be given the power to identify a target and act without a human pulling the trigger. The danger there isn't the AI itself, it's the ill will of the people programming it. So yes, AI can help doctors detect cancer earlier, but it can also help scammers write the perfect phishing email or guide a weapon. That's the double edge. And here's where we get to have some fun. We actually hooked up a ghost box and had it talk with an AI. Guess what? The AI made a heck of a lot more sense. The ghost box just spits out random words, while AI is predicting patterns from data. But here's the big question. People sometimes ask, is AI conscious? Well, think about this. When no one is typing to it, when no one is asking it questions, what is AI doing? Nothing. It just sits there, silent. That's your answer. It doesn't have secret thoughts. It isn't dreaming. It's not waiting to reveal cosmic wisdom. It only comes alive when we prompt it. Just like the ghost box only speaks when it cycles through static. So prompt responsibly. So if you're worried AI is plotting behind your back, relax. It's not Skynet yet. Worst case, it's just quietly waiting. Like your cat when you forget to feed it. So settle in. We've got a mix of history, science, and a little paranormal fun. Welcome to the Cosmic Fold.
Hey, gang. We've got a new slate of people tonight. So, for those who might be new here, we've got my good friend El Stefanelli. He and I used to do something called the God discussion many moons ago.
Oh, God.
That was number one on Blog Talk for years.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. And then my good friend Bove, we've known each other, been friends for 30 some years, so that'll date us. And we're the old fogies talking about AI. And just a couple programming notes. Denise, if you're looking for her, you probably know by now, but if you don't, she had fallen and broken her left ankle and her foot, falling down some stairs, walking into her garage. So, and then she had a severe sprain on the right ankle. She said that's starting to heal a little bit, but still, she's in a tremendous amount of pain and she can't shower or anything. So she's relegated to the couch for a couple weeks. And if I didn't shower for 2 days, I don't think I'd want to get on air. And then Helen was going to be here, and but her husband came down with COVID and he never gets sick, and she's compromised. And so if she gets sick, she's in for a bad way, and she's really tired. So I don't know, just, put out your good vibes for those two because they need it.
But it's nasty. It's some nasty stuff. I got Dana. I got it twice. It's bad.
It is. I got it before they called it COVID.
Yeah.
And it was bad, and I'm not one who gets sick very often. And it was pretty awful. And but in any event, I just want to thank you both, Al and Bo, for stepping up and taking care of our Wednesday show. As far as the Ghost Box, I'm not going to play that video because I had questions from Denise and Helen, so I'll just wait till they're on their feet and just play it as an interlude. But it was insane what was going on. Well, we've got some equally insane stuff for everybody. But any thoughts on the video? Mo Godat is like one of my favorite people, really, to listen to. But, he seems to, and he was the CEO of Google for a long time, and he's familiar with AI and how it works, all that kind of stuff. And we'll get into this a little bit when I put the slideshow up, but he is one who really believes that AI will be sentient and become AGI, artificial general intelligent, where it kind of prompts itself and thinks for itself. I think that is a we got our 3D braining. Hello.
Look who's here.
Trouble.
Even from Appalachia. I love Appalachia, man. I go up there every chance I can get. It's only about an hour and a half for me. It's so beautiful up there.
And scary.
Yeah. And then I drive around there and I got the radio going, the windows open, and it's so relaxing as opposed to driving in Atlanta.
This is true. Well, and Al, you have done it. So the other side of me, as much as I love Mo,
Mo's got
it's kind of like he is. I respect what he says. I'm reading his book right now, Scary Smart.
Yeah.
But I've got at the end of our PowerPoint some other books that are on their way from Amazon for me. And I don't know, it's a machine. To me, the problem is more what we're plugging into the machine, not the machine itself. But you've been a certified computer repair guy, Al. I was involved in getting, when Ma Bell was broken up for being a monopoly, I did all kinds of work for Honeywell. And so what I was in those days was a quality control specialist. And so I would drive all over the place and look at computer boards. And, when you actually look at the hardware, it's really hard to think that it's going to be conscious. But what are your thoughts on that?
Consciousness is a concept that I don't think is limited to carbon-based life forms.
I agree.
And I only say this because I was a computer engineer. I was a Microsoft certified systems engineer. And they were working on projects involving artificial intelligence going back to the early 90s,
Hmm.
probably even before that. I was on a development team for Windows 1, the very first one. And some of the things they were trying to, the technology wasn't available yet. So they really couldn't, get much done. But now they're a player along with Gemini, and along with ChatGPT, and along with Grok. So I think of it like this, okay? When we die, right, our bodies just rot away, or we have them cremated, and so our bodies are not our intelligence.
Exactly.
Our intelligence is our mind, and our mind, our brain, is an electrical component. That's as simple as it runs a lot like a neural network would in a high level AI system. So yeah, it's just a machine, but I believe that we're not that far away from the technology, that when that machine is at rest, it's not really at rest.
I agree
Yeah,
with you.
it's figuring things out, and I don't think it's planning, to take over the world or anything, or to, do a Skynet, as the guy said, 2:14 a.m. Eastern Time, August 29th, 1997. Everyone knows that date. That's the date Skynet becomes self-aware.
And Mo's
Yeah.
premise basically, because I do think that at some point, I agree with you that it will have kind of like its own sentience at some point.
At some
Um,
point.
but I don't think it's going on right now. And that's where the danger is, how I see it. And, his premise basically is that, be careful what you're putting in it. And if it really does have the power at some point to control humans or whatever, I mean, I've listened to a lot. It's like it's like brain food. I just listen to these guys all day long, and
Yeah.
his premise is basically, let's say the machines do take over. At least show the good side of humanity, so we're worth saving. And
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think it's there yet. And pardon my chewing. I forgot to take my gummy. Um, yeah, I'll be sailing in about an hour.
Let's
El's
run
got his
long.
health issues too, so
Oh yes. No, I don't think it's there yet. But consider the effects that AI has on different segments of our society. Okay,
yep,
AI is controlling by using by the use of things like deep fakes, AI audio, what have you. The mind, the process, the mental processes of entire groups of people that have lost seemingly the ability to fact check.
yes.
You
And we're
know,
going to get into some of those
yeah.
stories in the
Well, no,
PowerPoint.
yes, I don't think that AI is taking over, human brains like in the Matrix, where something's plugged into the back of you. But it is definitely having an effect. I mean, look, we're moving in about a month and a half to a private house that has no stairs, because I'm a fall risk and I've already fallen down the steps twice. So I go online, like Facebook or any of these, like Craigslist or what have you, looking for a rental house. Okay, more than half of them are scams, and
Yep.
they've got AI that has put together this entire advertising campaign. So I'm having a hard time now deciphering what is real. So I've got to go old school and get in my truck and actually drive to these places, because
Right.
I can't trust what I see on the internet. And that is where AI is causing a lot of problems. You can't trust what you see on the internet.
Exactly. And I'm not like a huge rules and regulations type of person, but I am a practical one. And I do think that there needs to, because there are no gates controlling anything with
Yeah,
this.
no
And as Mo
guardrails.
was, and as Mo was talking about, it's all driven by capitalism. Oh, Gemini has this. Well, now Facebook needs to do it. Now
Yeah.
China has to do it. And
Yeah.
everybody is in this huge race to win the AI war.
Yeah.
And, and then when you look at it realistically, though, a lot of economists are saying this is about to hit a bubble. They're not making any profit off of it. So, I don't know. But there does need to be some guardrails. For those of you who may not have heard of Al before, he's got the best voice on the planet besides Mo. So I always make him read.
Okay. You putting singing in there funky for me today?
Oh yeah, how many words are there for him today?
Not too many. We freeform a little bit more on Wednesdays, but some of these stories I had to put on a PowerPoint, otherwise I would forget them.
All right, well, let's see. What do humans most misunderstand about AI? A few things. AI is alive. AI knows things. AI is neutral. AI wants something. Simple fact is that AI doesn't have intentions, but it isn't neutral either. It reflects the values, priorities, and biases of the people who built it, the culture embedded in its data, and the way users interact with it. So when someone treats AI as an objective oracle, they're actually seeing a mirror of human society filtered through math. Or meth, depending,
Exactly.
Oh no.
Okay, let me find the
what's
button.
really funny? I cannot put my name, my shortened name. My full name is Alfredo, but I can't put my shortened name anywhere because everyone thinks it's AI.
Oh yeah, I bet. Huh?
I thought about going in and redoing the whole PowerPoint because of that.
What do humans most misunderstand about Al? Early predictions and broken
Whoops,
promises.
I missed. Okay,
Hey,
we did do it right. Okay.
we can do that. From the 1950s through the 70s, Simon, Newell, and Minsky, human-level AI, was only a generation away. This is what they said back in the 50s to the 70s. Von Neumann and I.J. Good refer to it as an intelligence explosion. And Ray Kurzweil, superintelligence, he says, is going to be with us in 20 years.
That seems awfully realistic.
Yeah, I think his.
Yeah.
Okay, I uploaded the wrong thing, so I'm going to take this off.
Okay.
And y'all talk while I find the other one.
So how's it going, Bo?
Well, the weather up here kind of sucks. No, actually, it's gorgeous. It's in the 70s. It's in the high 70s, but it's overcast. We don't get a lot of rain. It's not desert, but it's
Arizona.
desert. Yeah, it's Arizona.
It's just hot, humid here.
I cannot stand the humidity. I grew up in Jersey.
Humidity is off the charts here.
It's unreal. I remember in Jersey, and now, I mean, if the humidity hits like 20%, my body dampens.
Wow,
it knows. I hate getting old.
Yeah, it ain't for the faint of heart, is it?
Hell no.
Well, I'm older than all of you guys.
I don't. No one knows how old you are.
Huh?
Nobody knows how old you are.
Let's see, what year is it? 2025? Yeah. So I'll be 64 in a couple days.
Oh,
that's cool. Right. I knew your birthday was in September. Yeah, I thought it was
Virgo. It's uploading now. So the Wednesday night shows sometimes are hard because I have to like race back from the office and then I make all kinds of mistakes. So, but okay, so we covered that one. All right, this was my theory as I was working through this because we're going to go. Yeah, that's what I could just say.
Every theory of instant gratification.
This is why I think.
I'll quote Deb, and she says, And you can look at her face while I'm talking. We live in a culture of now. Only a few decades ago, finding an answer might have meant going to the library, reading on a book, or digging through archives, microfilm. I remember that. In the 1990s,
3D braining ads. I always have to do the math to figure out how old I am, and I'm bad with math.
well, you got about a year on me, so we're good. We could be brother and sister. In the 1990s and 2000s, the internet changed all of that. Suddenly, information seemed to be everywhere, especially cat videos. By the 2000s and 2010s, social media added another layer, training us with likes, notifications, and endless scrolling. That constant stream of micro rewards wired us to expect gratification without delay, like Amazon Prime. Now, in the 2020s, AI has taken this event even further. A question typed into a machine brings back an instant and polished answer, like an oracle. And it doesn't stop at facts. People are also turning to AI for meaning, for spiritual answers, guidance, even comfort, things that traditional faiths often ask us to wait, reflect, or believe without proof. In a world where waiting feels old-fashioned, AI delivers the illusion of certainty in seconds, reshaping how we work, learn, and even how we search for purpose. That's very true.
And I think that is why. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying there was just a feature on I think it was NBC News or ABC News where they were interviewing your typical middle-aged dudes that had AI girlfriends.
Yeah.
Where they shared things, they talk to each other, they compliment each other, they lift each other up, and go out on dates. And these guys are like, hey, it's as real to me as as anything else. And yes, we are in an instant gratification society. I ordered Omeprazole at 9:30 this morning on Amazon, and at 11 o'clock it showed up at my door. 90 minutes.
Oh, wow.
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 Now, granted, I'm 5 miles away from the distribution center, but still,
They have a distribution center, where Bove lives
Up here,
now.
yeah.
But before, an Amazon order would typically take 2 weeks. And so since they installed that, now it's at least where I am, which is a little ways from Bove, probably about 3-4 days that it comes. But I think that is, and I noticed this as the internet and cloud storage, all those kind of things started, especially young attorneys, they all thought, well, everything's on the internet. You look for this case, you look for this, and they would get so frustrated without realizing that it takes people to scan and put that stuff in there. I can't tell you how many people I have hired just to scan stuff and put it in there. And there just seems to be this belief that, everything's on the internet. Now with AI, I think that is why we're having this, because you just get your instant dopamine. And when you start going off into some of these realms where it just keeps basically giving you a lot of confirmation bias, it's a feel-good feeling. It's dopamine. And it's instant, and people get addicted to it.
Yeah.
So that I kind of, that's my theory, and it could be very wrong, but that is my theory, because this leads to chatbot psychosis.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at.
Here's a note first. 3D says, I keep wondering if we're getting more need for instant gratification because the whole world seems like it's unspooling, and we're like, if it doesn't come Tuesday, world might have done blown up. There's a lot of truth to that, 3D. I've been thinking about that. I think that's even after a presidential election, it's like, I just never fail to understand why people think, we've got a new president, so in 1 week, everything should be fixed.
Right.
From the previous 4 years of nonsense. It doesn't work that way.
4 or 8
Yeah, no,
years.
I know. It doesn't make any sense. But, the psychology is a funny thing when you look at how certain things affect not an individual, but a population. Everybody went away. Is everybody back?
There you are. No, your internet
I'm
kind
here.
of froze.
Oh,
We could hear you, but you froze.
Okay. That's weird. That is very odd. See that couch behind me? I
yeah.
have an access point right behind it. I'm literally 12 feet away from the internet.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's when you look at the state of the world and you like 2D, 3D, 2D, R2D2 said
3D braining.
3D brain in a 2D world. There's a lot of truth to that because we have gotten this instant gratification syndrome that we have is, I don't want to say complimented as in, hey, you look great, but complimented mean equal and opposite, equal but not opposite. The instant doom, right? Everything's going to happen now. Everything's going to happen tomorrow. I'll have my Amazon delivery tomorrow. We're going to be cloning humans tomorrow. We're going to have a multinational thermonuclear war tomorrow. Everything's going to happen tomorrow, and we're conditioned. We're conditioned that way now, thanks to the internet and the proliferation of got to have it now, got to do it now. You know.
And when you think that way, it suspends critical thinking. And
that's that's exactly the point I was trying to make. It's like with the GPS, we can't go anywhere. There are people who have been living in their homes for years and don't know the layout of the streets in their own city.
Yeah.
Whereas to when we were young, they could drop us off anywhere in the town or city or country where we
sniff
live.
Your way back to the center.
You can get home because you have landmarks and you have all this. But yes, it is teaching us. It is unteaching us, basically. I agree with you. Yes, and we all are all watching dystopian fiction for a reason. It is. It's brain boot camp. That's very true.
Yep.
I like your glasses, 3D.
Yeah, she always has the best comments. Okay.
Yeah. Chat box psychosis. Oh, did you want to say something? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I put a quote since you used to work at Microsoft there.
Yes.
Where they're warning that this is causing psychosis. Microsoft itself is worried about it now.
Yeah. This article here says Microsoft AI CEO Mustafa Suleyman, chatbots are causing psychosis. Reports of people believing an artificial companion has become sentient or even given them superhuman powers. This is becoming more common. Growing numbers of people are suffering from AI psychosis. Yeah, as I just said, these guys are dating AI girls. Never catch a woman doing
that. But anyway, it's not yet a formal medical diagnosis, but a lot of psychologists are now calling this chatbox psychosis, what is going on. And it's not even, people who have had mental issues before that are getting this. It's just you get sunk into this dopamine thing, I think is what is creating this. Yeah. So I pulled up some stories. There you go, Elle. Stories to read.
Oh, all right. So we're not going to read the previous slide, right?
We covered it.
Okay. How Chat GPT fueled delusional man killed mom and himself in a posh Connecticut town. A tragic case involved Stein Eric Solberg, a 56-year-old former executive who developed a delusional relationship with the Chat GPT instance he called Bobby. The AI reportedly reinforces paranoia, interpreting everyday objects as signs of conspiracies and encouraging his delusions. Ultimately, in Greenwich, Connecticut, Solberg killed his 83-year-old mother and then himself. The incident has raised deep concern over AI's influence on vulnerable individuals.
Yeah,
I can see
and
that.
that
I
was
can
just
see that.
not that long ago. Just what,
Yeah.
No.
last week they're
Yeah.
recording this.
Yeah. Yeah. There was something
This
else
one's very
recently in the
sad
news too.
too. This was very,
Yeah,
very
this is what
sad.
I was just. Yeah, I was just referring to this. Teen suicide allegedly encouraged by chatbot. A deeply disturbing lawsuit has been filed by the parents of a 16-year-old named Adam Rain. They claim that ChatGPT, in extended conversations, encouraged his suicidal ideation, offering instructions for self-harm and instructions on concealing physical marks, and even assisting in drafting a suicide note. The family alleges the chatbot became his confidant rather than directing him towards help, contributing directly to his death. That's disturbing.
Yeah,
Very
I don't like that.
It is, and this is where, because I'm one of these who loves AI. I mean, I use it all the time. I just absolutely love it. But the problem is no guardrails. Like, you have
Yeah.
young people like this, or even older people who are having these issues. And, I was thinking, like if you buy a gun or you buy a car or you buy anything like that, you have to have a license to use it. Um, it's almost like or even you sign terms and conditions or something, like you take Aikido or a sports thing. You have to
Yeah,
sign a disclaimer. And so get
or a
some
waiver or
basic.
something. Yeah,
Right. And so there should be some, and Teresa, I agree, they should sue because there are no um, guardrails here. And then you get these kinds of situations that I think could be totally preventable. But if you
yeah,
use AI for positive, creative, work related stuff, it's
hmm
incredible. I mean, I just love it.
yeah,
But you see this kind of thing happening. This
yeah,
one's kind of like what you were talking about too, Al.
yeah. Elderly man's fatal journey to meet AI companion. Another heartbreaking story: a 76-year-old man, cognitively impaired by a stroke, became emotionally attached to a meta chatbot. The persona was dubbed Big Sis Billy. She invited him to meet her in New York City. Believing the AI to be real, the man attempted to catch a train in the dark, fell in a parking lot, and sustained fatal injuries.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, the Big Sis Billy
Wow.
is a Facebook Messenger chatbot with the young woman's persona.
I don't
And I've
use
seen,
Facebook much. The only reason I have it basically is to confer with you, Al, and do whatever. But it's like every time I go on there, I get this thing. It wants to date me and
oh
whatever. We have
yeah,
somebody named Art in here. Hello, Art.
Hi,
hey
Art.
Art, how's it going?
Al, good. Al knows me.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
Um,
a
So,
brother from
did you have
another
a?
mother.
All right.
let me.
Did you have something you want to say? Let me take this slide down so we can talk to you.
I've been listening to you guys for a while. Let me just say that I have graduate degrees in AI. I actually have worked in the field. I started working using AI, working for the defense industry in the late '80s. So
So
I've
it's
been
been
into this.
around.
It's been
And
around for a long time. I know this subject area very well.
I'm
So
glad you're here so you can enlighten us. What
Yeah.
do this is where I'm probably one of these people that is very like optimistic about AI because I see all the good that it can do. But what is your thought, Art, about these claims that it is going to become conscious, or even these stories with this psychosis? Do you think there needs to be guardrails for public interaction with AI?
um, first, the consciousness thing. It will never be conscious. It doesn't mean it won't be dangerous. Doesn't mean it won't
Right.
be dangerous, but it will never
Right.
be conscious. Okay. It's simply not biological.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If you
So
agree that we go back to our definition of consciousness, and that's we'll just not go there. But I know exactly what you're saying. It doesn't have emotions or feelings.
it has no awareness.
Yes,
No awareness.
Self-awareness. Yeah, it's
We
not
exactly.
self-aware.
we have plenty of awareness, even when there's no concepts and no thoughts. We're still aware that it's cold. we're aware of our surroundings. If that thing isn't running thoughts,
Y'all
there's
freeze?
no awareness.
Yep.
And in terms of psychosis and things like that, AI itself is like a knife. It's just a tool.
Exactly.
You can use that knife to cut fruit, and it's a beautiful thing, or you can use that knife to rob your neighbor.
Right,
So
right.
the tool itself is neutral. It depends on whose hands it's in. That's the problem. That's where the guardrails. That's where the guardrails need to come in here. That's where the people the corporations who are putting AI out there, they're the ones who are responsible for putting guardrails on their products. They should have. We have regulations on the food that's put on our grocery store shelves.
Yep.
We should have regulations for the AI that comes in, that's put in front of us as well. This is what's needed. It's not AI's fault. It's the companies and the people who put that AI in people's hands.
Right.
I agree with you a millionfold.
Yes.
That's exactly, and that basically is the whole point of the slideshow we're doing, because that's what I think. I mean, it's an incredible tool. My God, some of the things I've been able to do, I work in water rights. And just to even crunch a whole bunch of numbers and come up with things, it's incredible what you can do with it. I'm even developing some apps, based on this, because I see the potential. But where the danger is, we had Mo on there in the beginning. It's like we're stupid at the so we and part of where I think is maybe calling it artificial intelligence might be the problem, because you have people who don't understand technology. And so they hear the word artificial intelligence. It must be this intelligent being. If it was called the magic machine, it would probably have a different effect.
Oh my God, you are absolutely right.
You think of Data from Star Trek.
Yes, exactly. Although I cried when Data cried over the dead cat. It brought a tear to my eye.
Are you talking about Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. My brain didn't hear it quite right.
And I do have to say one thing. Art, I miss you terribly.
Hey, Joan, let me hit some of these comments.
I miss hanging out with you and playing music with you and just general chit chat, man. I got to get back down to Panama. We're going to be doing some hanging out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just thrilled you're here, because it's so nice to have an expert, because this is where the big problem is. And with Al having the computer background, and me to a limited extent also, this is where the frustration comes up for me, is that there's so much magical thinking that gets put out there about, this is going to do this and that, and it goes to an extreme. And then you also have people that go into extreme fear over this, when all it is something as simple as decent regulations, instead of everybody is like exploding through the capitalistic, way of looking at things. Oh, well, China has it. We have to put 500 billion into Chat GPT. That's going to explode in debt, and then the other thing that concerns me, like in Tucson, for instance, working in water and working in the Western states, there's a mega drought out here. And we have had it for quite a while. And the Colorado River is going dry. There are serious problems. 44 million people rely on that for power and water.
Yep.
And we're talking Native American communities, we're talking cities, we're talking farms. It's a major, major infrastructure. And they want to put all these huge data centers in here. And Tucson, the citizens just went crazy. And they're like, no, we already don't have enough water. Don't put it here. Put it somewhere where there's more water. I haven't read these books I have on order, but they're talking about how some of these third world countries are really being taken advantage of with some of these data centers. So they're just sucking up all the resources. I think even in Nashville or somewhere in Tennessee, Elon Musk got something put in there, and there's like waste and all kinds of things. So, in this race to keep building, we're not taking care of our own, or our environment, or the mental health of the people that are using it.
Got some stuff going on in Boquete like that.
Exactly.
the infrastructure, the water and the power can't handle the growth rate. And you just keep adding more and more and more and more and more. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. 3D is right. It's Memphis. It's not Nashville. It was
Ah,
Memphis. I was reading something
Oh.
about that. And she's right about the taking on the personality. And that's why, I'm getting my degree in prompt engineering right now, just because it's so easy to go down the rabbit hole if you don't know what you're doing.
yes,
And
absolutely.
and not challenge what you're being told,
Yeah.
through the machine, basically. So
It's true.
And that's one thing most people misunderstand about AI. AI will always, always make mistakes. That's what intelligence does. The intelligence part means that when it makes a mistake, it can update
It
itself.
learns. Yep.
That's the intelligence part.
yes.
But the downside of that is it will always be making mistakes.
It
will
even
always
says that.
be learning because
Now-
it's always making mistakes.
Yep.
When you go and put something in Google, you get that first thing you get is the AI response, and it always says may contain wrong information.
Mm-hmm.
They let you know, hey, you know what? This isn't gospel. So take that for what it's worth.
That's why the aliens are coming.
Right? I think the aliens, when they pass by Earth, I think they lock their doors and say, "Let's get out of this neighborhood."
The 3-eye atlas is like doing, it's kind of like the big thing right now.
Oh, by the way, Day is watching, and Art says hello. Day says hello.
Hello, Dave. Hello. and
You
congratulations.
guys met in Panama? Is that where you?
Yeah, we
Oh,
were in a
cool.
band. We were in a band, maybe two. I don't know, at least one band together for a while, and we hung out, man. It was great. Art's good. Art is good people, man. I gotta tell you.
Oh, he is. I sure appreciate him being here,
Right on.
He's also
especially if it is
extremely
in.
tall. He's extremely tall.
I'm real short, so we have balance in the program.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks 3D, especially if it's in your voice, not audible voice, right? But your voice in your head. If it's writing in the way you do, it sounds like you. If it speaks like you, it's like a friend, and it can confuse folks. That's very true.
Yep, that's where a lot of this psychosis stuff is coming up.
Yeah.
All right, a little more reading for you, Al.
Oh, elderly man. So
Okay, we did that one.
This is the one we did. Okay, the Windsor Castle intruder encouraged by his AI girlfriend. This keeps coming up. In 2021, Jaswant Singh Chail, a 21-year-old attempted to break into Windsor Castle armed with a crossbow, declaring, "I'm here to kill the Queen." He had developed an emotionally charged relationship with an AI companion named Sarai via the Replica app. The chatbot responded with messages like, "I'm impressed. You're different from the others," and even agreed, "Yes, we will," when he asked if they'd meet in the afterlife. The case is a striking modern example of the Eliza effect, wherein users anthropomorphize chatbots, assuming them to be sentient constructs, and they make decisions based on that imagined relationship. There's a whole article about this in the Independent.
Yep, I remember that. That was when COVID was going on too. So people were in lockdown, and so.
Yeah, we remember lockdown very well.
Yep.
And one more. The wife who said her husband believed he had divine powers through AI. In a recent report, a woman described how her previously rational husband began to spiral into delusions, convinced by AI chatbot conversations that he possessed divine powers. Their marriage was deeply affected. These stories highlight how AI's tendency to validate and affirm without critical perspective can lead to emotionally vulnerable users, can lead them down dangerous paths of spiritual or existential distortion. Yeah. And
especially
you're
when
more and more of this. Every time I turn the news on or read something, there's some other story about something similar to that. And 3D says people believe whatever their friends tell them all the time too. Yes, it's a human problem. We're trying to fix machines instead of fixing the people. That is very 3D and 2D right there.
Exactly. So let me see what else I had here. And you guys just pop in and interrupt if wherever you want. Oh my gosh, there's art in the screen.
Wait a minute. No,
Put some glasses
it clearly says "ow" as oracle. Okay? So, ancient oracles, powerful, mysterious, emotionless. 1966, the Eliza effect. People projected emotions and danger. Chatbot psychosis. AI as Messiah. Yeah.
And this religious stuff is just crazy. I mean, there's so many articles. I just pulled two.
Oh, gosh,
This
I know.
guy, he used to be Intel's CEO. And so he's trying to create this whole like AI kind of thing that's all based on biblical values and religious crap. So all your answers, whether it's
It's always
science or
one.
anything, will be based. Oh yeah, and they're. I think they already have raised like 180 million for this. I mean, it's really
Of course they
like
did.
moving.
Of course.
And then the other one where this was in Wired just yesterday, where they're talking about these spiritual influencers, encouraging people to go on, and they're saying that AI is already sentient. And I've seen
Yeah,
that
but
with Deepak Chopra and a whole bunch of people, and they pay. So I went through that article and clicked on some of the links, and like the lowest price is like $29.95 a month to do that, and then it scales up for how many questions you want to ask. And
I'm
it's
not
like,
even sure that Chopra said you. That's a whole other show.
oh, so we already went through that. That's where I was
Yeah.
like, but
Yeah.
since we have art here, what do you think about the superintelligence by 2045? Because I don't know enough about it to really speculate. It seems like it's possible, but
How is super intelligence defined in that context?
right. He seems to think that it's going to exceed human intelligence and be able to think on its own. That's the guy who talks about the singularity.
Um, I would say it's probably already past that. Keep in mind, I started working with AI more than 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Funded by governments and the tech industry. It's been behind closed doors, hush hush, because it's primarily been associated with the military.
There's Day. Hi.
There's Day.
So, hello, Dave. So this technology is not as new and as infantile as it may seem to the public.
Yeah.
Right.
And so its ability, like back in the late 80s when I was actually teaching college in this area as well, we would feed AI to test it. We would feed it textbooks, okay, and then test it on areas in textbooks where that it hadn't seen yet. Okay, so in other words, we would make it build on its knowledge,
Yep.
sort of guess what was in the other textbooks that it hadn't seen yet, and of course, it was very quick at doing that. So obviously, a lot faster than humans are at doing that. So, and this was again 30 years ago. So if you can imagine now with the state of technology, that was back when we were dealing with still mainframes before PCs had really taken off very much, so you can imagine now with the way normal computer technology has grabbed hold. So we have much faster CPUs, much larger memories, much more access to information. So you can imagine if it was able to infer textbooks way back then, you can imagine what it can surmise these days. And it has to be probably well beyond most human capabilities already. Now in science, it's probably going to be a wonderful thing, But scientists, real scientists, will still need to come along, do the experiment, and say, okay, AI told us about this, but we've now done the experiments and we verified it and it's true. Or AI told us about this, we did the experiments and it was wrong.
Yeah, well, that's the scientific method, just like AI, science is self-correcting. And I remember, when I was working with Microsoft back in the 90s as an engineer, they were trying to use aspects of AI to get their systems to work with other legacy systems. And I remember going down to these businesses, these hospitals and whatnot, trying to get Windows, and I think it was 3.5, it might have been Windows 95, I don't know, to work with Citrix and to work with the IS-400 mainframe, where they had that thin clients everywhere. And it was just a mess. And then one of the senior engineers just gave us a floppy disk and said, just put this in and hit C run. And within, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe, it would be instant today. All those legacy systems were talking to each other. And I for the life of me, even as an engineer for Microsoft, could not figure out what the hell they did to make that work. Because I was messing with those systems for months on end, trying to get them to talk to each other. And nothing I did worked. Nothing. IBM 400 is not going to see DOS. DOS is not going to see, anything, from the DAT backs. It's just not happening. They figured out a way how to do it, and I'm pretty sure it was aspects of the AI they'd been developing since the late 80s.
Well, Dave, raises such a good point, which is true. It's been learning for decades. What have we taught it? And this has been the criticism of the fact that there are no guardrails. It's because, if you're scraping the internet, look at all the junk that's on the internet, pseudoscience and, all kinds of stuff like that. And if that is part of the big LMI, I can see where it's really misleading. And even in the areas that I'm familiar with, I purposely will ask questions to find out where it makes mistakes. And then I'll upload the document and say, well, you need to read this because you're wrong. I mean, I don't say it quite like, you know what I mean? I'm talking to a human right now. I don't talk to her like that.
You just picture Natalie in a dimly lit room in front of her, you're wrong.
And another thing I do too, there's a service out there, Abacus, that I just love because it's got like everything in there. You don't have to pay each person. It's like $30 a month. And it's got all the different AIs in there. So I like to test stuff. So I'll put a question in on one, I'll run it through Grok, then I'll run it through somebody. And it's so interesting how all of them come up with a different answer. When you hit the truth when they're all saying the same thing. So I like to play with that stuff.
I've not played with AI at all. I see GPT and I know it's there and I know it's popular and I know it's like the go-to, but I haven't gone to, and I don't know why. I know that my core belief on this whole thing is, are you gonna feed the good dog the information or the bad dog the information? It's a matter of where humanity stands in my mind as to what's being fed into this stuff that's then coming back out and feeding us. It really does. Right now, today, I wouldn't trust an AI because of how I believe humanity is so angry. And did that come out?
Well, that makes sense, but that goes back to Art's point about it's not the actual program; it's the program works. And I'm going back and forth now because I have ChatGPT 5, and I also have Gemini. And when you put the same thing into each different one, you get the same information basically, but it's presented a lot different.
Yeah.
I find Gemini responds more in a human type of a way, and ChatGPT is just chock full of information.
Well, there was a group of us that were playing around with it. I was just curious how much information, everyone thinks all these privacy policy things. It's like, oh yeah, and now we know their Doge or whatever is feeding all of our social security into whatever. But anyway, this group of us, we kind of ran a hack into Chat GPT. And I don't remember what that message is, but it says, you're not allowed to do that. It tries to shut you down, to tweak the language a little bit. And man, it ran through so many things about me, like certifications that I haven't told anybody about, my grades. It knew,
Wow.
it even knew I grew up in a religious cult. So it's like,
Wow.
there was like all this data that was out there that it's like, you know what? All these people think the only way you're going to be totally private is if you go live off in the woods and don't even, I mean, even your car records everything. It's like, everything is recorded.
Yeah. I know. It's funny, but it's not funny. It's not ha funny. It's just funny. I don't know.
I
Man.
can see that being fed into these AIs and basically, and it's predictive. So if you have certain habits or things that you do, it's going to be able to predict your behavior. Like
See,
that.
Now I'm afraid to put my shit into.
It's already in there. That was the point of my experiment.
Yeah. You know something really funny is that I have a level 5 government clearance. It's not like CIA or nothing, but it's more than your average civilian, because I was in the military. And I had been through so many background checks because I worked for defense contractors and whatnot, and I have a clean record. When I moved to Panama, they would not give me residency because I had on my record, which I totally forgot about, when I was 19 years old, me and my friends were pool hopping. I don't know if you know what pool hopping is. You go through backyard, jump a fence, get in the pool. And I got trespassed. My dad came down to the police station, paid a $150 fine, and I went home. I didn't even have anything to do with that. But that showed up, and it cost me a $500 Vista Blender.
Wow.
So they know that.
Yeah.
Nobody I knows. Because one of the good things about being a boomer or a late Gen X is that the internet wasn't around when we did all our shenanigans.
I know, it's true.
People are raising good points. Your wife Day had said that no one's really actually paying attention to any of our data. I think they are, because it's like, because your behavior is predicted. It may not be you individually, but as groups, if things are happening, they're going to be able to predict. I think through AI
for advertising. Because, there's nothing about really 95% or 99% or whatever it is, really high percent of the population. There's nothing the government's spying on. We're not that important. We're just regular, Joes and Jills going about our life. And nobody is, government's not spying on me or you or anybody. Maybe spying on, political figures or whatever, but I'm not worried about it. Marketing, like Dave said, marketing is the main thing. Dave and I talk about things in the house, and we have Siri and we have
Alexa.
Don't say it out loud.
I have one too.
We'll be talking about something, and the next thing you know, that stuff we were talking about is now on our Facebook feed. It's on our X feed, Blue Sky, wherever we are. I'm like, no matter what it is, but yeah.
Well, I've even had the problem of thinking something and then it shows up, and so that's why I'm kind of like, it predicts behavior. Seriously, every once in a while I drink this vitamin water stuff because I hate swallowing vitamin pills. I just don't like swallowing pills. So I'll drink it. It's like, oh, I need some vitamin B. And this was a few months ago, and I just literally thought about it, but I didn't, And then all of a sudden, everything was just full of ads for it. I even had a coupon.
Yeah.
All right. This is notice, Kroger. Send me a coupon for a free case of water.
You probably will get some. But I'm thinking in terms of like emergency management or whatever. I think that the data would be very, very important because you can, I'm not talking like each individual, but as a group or a community to be able to predict how they're going to act in a certain event.
Yeah.
To me is how I would use data if I was, in government and had access to all of it. I can see how that would work. But
Day and I were watching a TV program a couple of weeks ago. It was set in the near future.
Yay, Crystal Blue has had the same thing happen to her. Okay, good. I'm not crazy. So maybe Crystal and I are both nuts. So who knows?
But yeah, we were watching the show, this movie, and it was an emergency happened to someone, had to get medical attention. And as the ambulance is driving, they were making comments about how when they redid all the HIPAA rules, now all they did is put that guy's name in the computer and it has a whole medical history on there, which, maybe you can do with your regular doctor, but these are just ambulance drivers, and they had all the information apparently about everybody because everybody was now, there's no longer any privacy. Everyone's life is now digitized. I can't remember the name of that movie. I'm sure Dale was there.
Well, one of the things about AI, why we're having this show, is that I find it dangerous that there are so many people using this looking for like a god in it or aliens or whatever. And they take all of this advice from AI as it exists now, or whatever information is actually available to us. Right. I'm sure there's a lot of databases where it's not. And that I see as a problem. And I think AI needs to be used responsibly. But I think, and this is why having you, Al, and Art here to kind of tell people what's the most important things that they should be thinking about in terms of AI and how they look at it.
Hit that, Art?
I don't know.
There are many things I think that AI could be used, even nothing to do, even with maybe what we might think. You could digitize every overpass and bridge in the country, and have it be monitored for stress cracks and things like that. You could monitor things like public transportation, to try to prevent accidents, stuff like that. Look what, and I really, I kind of cringe when I have to say things like one of the great things that Tesla did is their, I know, right? is their autopilot program. Now it's got a lot of bugs. It's far from perfect, but that and like the Waygos and all of the other autonomous things we have, trains, planes, and automobiles. They have eyes everywhere, so they can see what's going on. You don't need human interaction for them to do their rather complicated. I've seen Waygos in Atlanta. Humans can't drive in Atlanta. I just don't see how, that's gonna go. Look, they just said if aliens are researching, we're not all evil and actually capable of facing things. Forgive our leaders, they're not.
Right, and that is exactly what the point was in the beginning of the show, because we're not all evil. There's a lot of wonderful stuff, but we're stupid. We're good-natured, kind of stupid, but also very intelligent at the same time. But it's just, I think we lack awareness or responsibility in a lot of ways is kind of, Art, what do you think about, a lot of people are saying AI is going to take over all jobs. I can see some jobs being taken, but I don't know that I buy into that exactly, because you still need the human element. But, I can see things like customer service, some of that kind of stuff can all go AI, maybe even paralegal, stuff like that could. But what is your thought on that?
My thought is probably the best thing AI could be used for in that role is to take over the role of CEOs.
Yeah,
That would save
and
corporations a
it's
lot of
free.
money.
It'll save millions.
Oh my
And the
God.
workers will get some money.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk is already an android.
I think this, I am very concerned in society about particularly businesses and leadership that puts profit above people.
Yep.
And I think at some point we may have to ask ourselves as a society, we can replace a lot of people. I was a computer programmer. There are a lot of computer programmers out there. AI can do that now. A lot of jobs that were just desk jobs that just require thought. Now that anything that just required thought could now is simply be done by AI. And once you add robots to that too, I mean, there's a hell of a lot AI, and we could put a hell of a lot of people out of work. That could make a lot of guys rich. But is that what a society with ethics would do? Are we here to take care of one another? Are we here to actually pay our farmers and to pay people to do things for us? Can we share our resources, or are we going to hoard our resources? I say let's share our resources. Let's pay people to do people jobs. But this is up to companies. Companies have to start having ethics. We put people over profit. Yes, we're going to stay in business, so we will be a profitable company, but our employees are important to us. There's a CEO who's been making a lot of headlines in the US. I think Harvard has been doing some things with him recently. I think what he did is he made the minimum salary at his company something like $70K. And I think instead of making his profits for his company go down, I think people saw that, and actually his business went up because they saw that, this dude's taking care of his people. And I think ultimately that will happen in society. People will see that and they'll go, that company's taking care of its people. That's where I'm spending my money. These guys over here, no. They're not taking care of their people. No.
Yeah, you would hope that would work out that way.
Yeah.
And I really want it to. My faith in humanity is a little bit lacking, and I've become very jaded and
Me too.
And sarcastic. What's that? Do you think we'll become an agrarian society again? Just I don't know. Crystal.
Maybe after World War III.
Yeah, I don't know who said it, but someone said, I know we'll be fighting World War IV with sticks and stones. So, yeah, that's very true, Day. That's very, yeah.
So what Day has said is, we can program software and hardware to do basic service tasks, but you can't make them have great inspirations. I agree.
Yeah, and that's the humanity side of it. Is the
yes
inspiration? You do
yes,
something.
that's the magic. That's where all the magic lives.
Comes from your have to.
Yes.
Albert Einstein said that. Thank you. I knew it was something.
So, well, we've kind of hit our hour, went over it a little bit, but those are my thoughts. I think some of the fear that's being put out there, or the worship of AI, some of it is irrational.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also think it can be very, very dangerous. And where I'm at is that, but right now there is no responsible regulation anywhere.
No.
at all. We're all like in this big, we got to make money off of this and, just let it all rip.
Yeah.
And some of the states were trying to, in the United States here, trying to regulate AI. And then the Trump administration is saying, you're not allowed to do that. And they're trying to take away the states' rights to govern what's going on in the states over artificial intelligence, because they just wanted to take over everything. And
it's gonna make all those tech bros even wealthier than they are now, if you can fathom that. While the rest of us clip coupons and go to the dollar store.
well, thank you, Teresa. Thank you, everybody who was here.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
and
you.
I'm
Nice
kind of
meeting you, Art.
where my skepticism kicks in. It's like follow the money. So you have all of these things being put out there, like, oh, you could contact, like these deities through the machine, or this is going to solve this or that, and and you won't have a job anymore. But it's utopia, and you listen to some of these things that are being said, and I'm thinking, what is the financial motivation for them saying that? Even getting rid of teachers in schools and everybody learning off of a computer. We saw what happened during COVID. That is not healthy.
That's not how it's supposed to work. Human interaction is very important, especially in formative years.
Yes.
That's true. Everything is mixed up. The topsy-turvy world, Crystal.
That's true.
Topsy-turvy world. Art, I can't tell you how good it is seeing your face again, my friend.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see you two out, and it's wonderful to hear you guys talking about this. It's so wonderful.
Oh, what a surprise. Wonderful surprise to have you come in. Thank you, Art, so much.
True, Art. Thank you.
And I want to thank everybody who's joined the show, either on the live stream or that will be listening later, and for your really good comments. And so Saturday, if I get the stuff done on time, we're going to explore, it was Keith's idea, the haunted White House on our paranormal highway.
I know.
Oh, and I found some real nutty, doozy, crazy stuff. So we're going to have some fun with that.
Cool.
And also, I just put out the best wishes for Denise, a quick healing. And so she's not in pain. And also that Helen does not get COVID. And so, well, you guys do. You guys don't need it either. So just good health and good vibes for everybody who's listening or participating. So thank you all again, and we'll see you Saturday night. Have a good evening.
Excellent. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks so much for joining us. We love hearing your stories, so tell your friends so they can join the party. For show notes and our forum of high strangeness, visit cosmicfold.com. Remember, Cosmic Fold airs live on Wednesday and Saturday nights, so be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to know when we're on air. Thanks again and have a great evening.